The Raxium headlights that we have here today will appeal to the 2009 to 2018 Ram owners who might be looking to convert their dated reflector style factory headlights into a modern projector while at the same time kicking in some nice extras. Now these DOT approved headlights will feature that black housing, which is then topped off with a crystal clear lens. And then of course we can't forget about those modern projectors and those very cool switchback turn signals, all for right around that $400 price point. Now the install, according to the site at least, will get a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here and take about an hour or so to complete from start to finish. But as always, hang with me for a bit and we'll walk you through that job later in the video. So right off the bat here, guys, there is a lot to like about these particular Raxium. Now, first and foremost, again, these headlights will convert your dated factory reflector style housing into a modern projector. Now, not only does this look a lot cooler, of course, as you can see right here, but thanks to that brighter, more focused beam of light produced by said projector, you can expect much better visibility at night as well. Now, I do also want to mention here, guys, that the Raxiums do include brand new bulbs for both your high and low beam, and that's a nice little extra because it's not always expected when we're talking about a set of aftermarket headlights. But then there is the accent lighting, right? Now the Raxiums are going to provide your truck with LED running lights, both top and bottom of the housing here. And those lights are going to illuminate with a nice bright white glow anytime your parking lights or headlights have been switched on. Now, of course, that helps contribute to a very cool or custom look. But on top of that, those white LEDs also feature what is called switchback technology. Now that tech actually allows those white LEDs to switch back to amber and back to white again whenever your turn signals or your hazards have been switched on. Now everything, all of this cool lighting, those projectors have been sealed tightly behind that crystal clear polycarbonate lens, very durable. And despite the kind of radical styling here and auxiliary lighting, these lights have been given the DOT stamp of approval, which by the way does make them legal for use in all 50 states. But now comes the point in the video where we like to switch gears, talk a little bit more about the install, and show you what it takes to get these in place on your Ram at home. And to do so, feel free to check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown right now.
The tools used for this install are a ratchet, 10mm socket, and a clip removal tool. For this install, we are going to have to pull the grill off the front end of our truck to gain access to the headlights. You don't need a whole lot of tools to accomplish this job, and I'm going to walk you through every step of the process. So let's get started. The first step is actually going to be to remove the rad support cover. Ours is missing, and all you'll need is this little clip removal tool to pop the clips out to remove that, and that is going to gain you access to these 4 10mm bolts here at the top of the grill. So I'll use my 10mm socket on a ratchet and pull those out. Once those bolts are removed, you can grab the grill from the front end and just give it a good pull, and it should come right off. The next step is actually going to be behind the headlight, and you're going to gain access to this through the inner fender liner. There's an access window that we can use to get to the back of the headlight, and we're going to be feeling for this white tab here. It has a lip on the bottom of it, and all we have to do is push it up to unlock it. I just need to pull the clip for the access window back, and then I can fold that back out of my way, and then I can put my hand inside and release the tab. Next, once again using my 10mm socket and ratchet, I'm going to remove the 2 bolts here on the front of the headlight. That'll allow me to pull it out and unplug it from the vehicle. Now I can pull my headlight out and unplug my connectors. Just to give you a little bit of a better visual of the clip that I was referring to earlier, this is it right here, and it is currently in its locked position. By pushing it up, you open up the slot here to allow the headlight to come out. I'm just about ready to install my headlight, but the first thing I'm going to do is install the wire harness to the factory harness. And first thing I'm going to do is peel off the 3M backing for my ballast here, and I'm going to stick that to the structural support beam that's right next to the headlight housing. And then I'll plug in my low beam to my low beam and my running light to my running light. Now I'm ready to make the connection onto the back of the headlight and install the headlight using the factory hardware. So like I mentioned, you can use the factory hardware for this. Reinstall your 10mm bolts here at the top and bottom of the front of the headlight. And then we can move to the back of the headlight and lock down our tab. Now I can lock down my tab in the back simply by pulling down on it to secure it into place. I can close up my window. And that's that. Now you can just repeat this process on the other side of the truck. So now that you have both of your headlights in and tested to make sure that they work, you can go ahead and reinstall your grille. Now you can reinstall the 4 10mm bolts at the top of the grille and tighten them down to a 10mm socket. Finally, you can reinstall your rad cover. And that's going to wrap up this review and install of the projector headlights with switchback turn signals in black, fitting your 2009 to 2018 Ram 1500. Thanks for watching, and for all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.